The most important decision you can make above any on the face of the earth is deciding that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens, you're going to live in a beautiful state. What the hell does that mean? It means that you're not going to suffer.
And if you're feeling alone, you're not alone for very long. You have got to find the inner beast within you because it has yet to be awakened. Awaken that uniqueness within you. Awaken the attitude to carry on. This is the time. Never give up.
He says, I'm around these people, but they really don't bother me. See, that's not true. Whoever you're around, whoever you're with, is exerting some kind of influence on your life. And what you must do, and this would be the good year to do it, the first year you've heard about it, is make plans to get around the right people.
It means a beautiful state is that you're going to be happy, but that's only one. Or you're going to feel creative, or you're going to be passionate, or you're going to be in awe of something, or you're going to feel love. Any state that's a beautiful state is really the core essence of who you are without fear, right? All of our suffering as human beings, I deal with people all the time, bro. I mentioned you off camera, two people I coached yesterday. One's a presidential candidate, and the other one is a rap superstar, right? Both on the same day. And without naming any names, people that have everything, like your point of view, most people's point of view, they have the fame and they have the love and millions of people love them and they have great economics, financial freedom, and they have homes and they have the fashion, they have everything. They're the
Have you ever been put in a position where you didn't think that you had the strength to carry on? You felt a sense of weakness. You wasn't clear about exactly what was necessary for you to get to where you needed to be. You didn't understand why all of these things were pulling you down. You didn't realize that you were all by yourself in this particular situation. Not realizing that you needed something to electrify your ideas.
The majority are miserable. I'm not bullshitting. I'm the one who gets the phone call from the vast majority. When I say miserable, they're so used to it, some of them don't even realize they're miserable, but most do. They get in a place where it's like, how do I keep this up? How do I keep outdoing myself? How do I, I built these 32 companies, how to keep all 32 going and make them all grow every single year. And that's not how life is, right? And then they worry about what will people think? What will they do? So the decision to say, I am not going to suffer. That if suffering arises, pain's one thing, suffering's another. Suffering is when you're like, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine is a very famous Indian industrialist and billionaire guy. And he just recently took a sport in India. It's been around 2,000 years that almost every village child plays, and he turned it into a professional sport. No one had ever made a professional sport 2 years ago. He invested, I don't know, I'm making the number up, $20 million in it. In 2 years, the sport is so successful in India that 500 million people watched the finals 2 months ago. 500 million people, right?
To give you a sense of hope, to give you some recognition that work needed to be done. This is a time when you have to realize that you must never give up. This is the time that you must wake up and realize that giving up is not the option that you must take. You must recognize that there is work within you. There is purpose within you, but you must never give up. The things are gonna happen, they must happen. The challenges that you face, you must face. A lot of people in the world want to accept easy, but this is not the time. Easy is not the way to go. In fact, you should never accept it. Never give up. Because giving up is usually the wrong way to go. If you want to give up on quitting.
People who talk positive ideas, people who talk philosophy, the refinement of philosophy. See, just the latest joke won't help. You've got to get around people who read, people who are successful, and people who are growing and changing. Otherwise, your influence is going to be in the opposite direction. And I know most of us, wherever you work, you have to be around some negative influences. But what you must do is counterbalance that by an association of the right people, getting around the right people who can help to change your life for the better. So that's one of the 7 fundamentals, associating with the right people on a constant, consistent basis.
I'm going to tell you something that every successful person has to do, including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you are waking up thinking that there's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump. I'll tell you why I call it jumping. When you see people in life, when you're standing on the cliff of life and you see people soaring by, when you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. You know, how is he doing that? Have you ever thought?
So work on that one. And it's one of the 7 fundamentals. If you will work on an association of the right people who can help you to grow financially, personally, spiritually, socially, sure enough, it'll put you in the top 5%. Guess how many people have an association of people of common interest in progress, success, ideas, and philosophy? Answer, very few. But be one of the few. That's number 5. Here's number 6. The 6th fundamental for success is a plan for the development of all your personal skills. One of the great things to learn in life is that you can learn a great deal. There's hardly anything you can't learn. If you wished you could learn several languages, there's so many skills that you could develop that you want to make sure that you've got a timetable and a plan for developing all those skills.
Maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in their gift. You just got to quit looking at gifts as running, jumping, singing, dancing. It's more than that. It's if you know how to network, if you can connect dots, if you draw, if you teach. Some of y'all fry chicken better than anybody else, bake pie. Some of you cut hair, color hair. Your gift, not your education. You go get an education, that's nice. But if you don't use your gift, that education only gonna take you so far. I know a lot of people got degrees, man, they ain't even using it. It's your gift. But the only way for you to soar is you got to jump. You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord. That gift opens up and provides the soar. If you don't ever use it, you're gonna just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man.
Don't settle for less than you can be. See, at the end of your life, you don't want to wake up and discover that you've only lived 1/10 of it. And the person you could have become, you let that slide. The skill you could have developed, you just didn't take the time. There's a great deal of discipline required in developing all of your personal skills, but I can tell you that it's well worth the discipline. Make sure you go to the class. Make sure you do all that you possibly can to develop every skill you can, from the skill of leadership, the skill of diplomacy, the skill of language, the skill of business. Whatever you can learn, make sure you take the time to learn.